Industrial Talk is brought to you by Armis. Yes, you are in the digital transformation game. Yes, you need to find trusted companies, trusted individuals to help you along with that journey. The Armis platform delivers complete asset intelligence. You know what that means? Insights into your connected assets. You're in the digital transformation game, you have to have that insights into what is connected. Go to armis.com. Find out more. You will not be disappointed. Hey, Industrial Talk is brought to you by Cap Logistics. You want to minimize downtime? Absolutely. Increase reliability? You bet. Ensure operational's profitability? Yes, you do. That means you need 24/7, 365 insights into your supply chain. Look no further. Cap Logistics. Go to caplogistics.com or just call them. They're great people. 800-227-2471.
Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's...
All right, welcome to Industrial Talk, the number one, the numero uno, industrial-related podcast in the universe that celebrates industry professionals all around the world. You are bold, you're brave, you dare greatly, you solve problems, you're innovating like nobody's business, and you're changing lives, and you are changing the world each and every day. That's why we celebrate you on Industrial Talk. We are also, for your knowledge, we are broadcasting from the Digital Manufacturing Summit here in Chicago. Great venue, incredible people, and they're all dedicated to solving problems, and they want to solve your problem. That's how good they are. All right. In a hot seat, we have a gentleman by the name of Federico. He is with MXD USA. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. How are you doing? Having a good conference?
Oh, yeah.
I interviewed her right there. I did. I interviewed her too.
Yes.
No, she was fantastic.
Oh, I'm having a blast, just being here and seeing everyone and talking about, digital and what digital means to their manufacturing. It's just empowering.
See, I agree with you 100%. I think the challenge is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the challenge is trying to be able to distill digital. distill digital transformation, distill it down into a cogent thought.
Yes. Yeah, and so just since you bring it up, so at MXD, we're Manufacturing Times Digital. We are a public-private partnership funded by Department of Defense. We actually have a 22,000 square foot factory of the future where we distill it down.
No way!
Yes, so you can come to our floor and we will show you how digital works in a manufacturing setting.
Oh, I want to be there. I don't want to be here. Not to say it's bad being here.
Right.
So if somebody heard that.
Well, next podcast, you can do one there. We host podcasts all the time. Just not yours yet, so.
Rumor has it that I'm the number one. That's a rumor.
Yeah.
So where do you guys call? If you look at your business card, what do you call home?
MXD. Yeah, it's in Chicago. We're located literally on Goose Island. So if you're from Chicago, just west of Halsted, just north of Division Street. So.
And that's where your facility is located.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, our facility overall is about 75,000 square feet, but our factory floor is 22,000. Yep.
So what do you use that? It's a demonstration facility. You're saying, hey, here, got this. This is cool. This is this, and as a manufacturer, I could just sort of waddle on in and say, I'm interested in learning more and seeing it in action.
Yeah, absolutely. I think really I'll probably tell you how this works. So we have the demonstration facility, but actually we have funding that we provide to manufacturers. So we fund projects. We try to understand from them and from others, what are the pain points to like what we're hearing today, right, in this conference. So then we distill that out into projects, and then we make project calls. So we've actually funded about over $130 million since 2014 on over 80 projects in different areas of digital, cybersecurity, and workforce.
Is this in collaboration with other businesses? Or when you say projects, are you saying, hey, we got this project, we'd like to, whatever. How does that work?
Perfect. Yeah, so after we're done scoping what the pain points are, we will then release what's called an RFP, so request for proposal. And that's specific around an area. But then anyone, not just members, anyone can propose against that solution. We will host like a teaming day where companies can join on either virtually or in person, talk about, hey, here's how I think I could solve this problem, or here's what I could bring to the solution, something like that. And then teams sort of self-assemble. And then they have about 30 to 60 days to submit a proposal. Then we review them both internally and externally. And then once we go through that process, we will fund one of those projects. So let's say there are 5 or 10 or 15 proposals. We try to get the best one. And then we provide the funding. So let's say, for example, I just talked about a few that are about $500,000, 9 months. The key is that then the team has to do a one-to-one cost match. So there's skin in the game, right? The government wants to ensure that whatever money they're providing, they've got skin in the game. So
go back to let's expand upon that. So your organization defines a problem.
Yes.
It's like, hey, I see that manufacturers are dealing with this, whatever this is, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And then you're saying we need to solve the problem.
Correct.
And then we're going to submit it out there because we're all about collaboration. We need to have more eyes, more ears, more heads into solving this problem. Then you begin to review the RFP, and then you identify the best possible solution to solving that problem, which you guys define, and then you build it.
Yes.
And then what?
Yeah. So then from there, we have project outcomes that we'll share with our membership. If you're a member, you get certain access. And then some of it we also distill out to the public at large. So it could be a product, or it generally isn't, because we operate in this TRL 4 to 7 technology readiness level. So 1 to 3 is basic science research, and then 9 to 10 is kind of commercial. So we're in that what's been often coined as the valley of death, where we try to bring these innovations from basic research and get them closer to commercialization. So the solution output could be a playbook or a guide or It could be some software or something, but there's still some development that needs to be done. But we've crossed that valley of death where they're shown some use case. So generally the best teams, you've got a manufacturer that has that problem, a solution provider, maybe an academic partner, and maybe someone else. So it's always a nice mixture. It's a very diverse ecosystem we have because these problems are truly unique, right? And there is no one way to solve the problem, right? No. And so by bringing all these unique players together, we really come up with some very innovative ideas that the teams themselves say, had we not put that problem out there, they would have never come together to try to solve that.
So, yeah, it's cool. And again, I'm all about, I think this whole, okay, we identify COVID, bad.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
But there's some good out of COVID.
Absolutely.
And what was good out of COVID is that people recognize the necessity to collaborate.
Yes.
And I don't have all the answers. I need help.
Yes.
I have this problem. I need help.
Yes.
And that's a good thing it's beautiful to be humble in that sense.
Absolutely.
So you get it to the point of 7.
Yes.
10 is commercial use.
Yes.
Who takes it from 7 to 10? How does that work?
That really just depends. Those are things we're looking at now. We're trying to bring in people, maybe venture capital or other people. So that's what I'm saying. It's a really diverse ecosystem that we're developing here. We haven't figured out the best formula yet, but we have that available. And some members do take it. So depending on their tier status, if there's IP generated, they can use it both for internal or external purposes. And so sometimes they'll take those technologies and move them on. So it really just depends on what it is, how it can be used, and obviously the way and maybe the amount, because usually scaling up costs a lot of money, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So you get it. That's good. I look at it this way. There's never. And I would, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
There are always problems out there that need solving.
Yes.
Do you find in your organization there's this convergence of technology? So somebody's over here saying, hey, I got this technology. I think I got this the way to be. And then somebody over here is saying, I got this technology. And then by whatever, they come together and they say, you know what? We come together. Now we have a new use case for solving.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because do you help facilitate that too?
Oh, yeah. No, so just a perfect example, because it's exactly what we did. When COVID hit, we had already been funding a lot of projects around supply chain resiliency.
Oh,
go figure.
Wow.
Using AI to, in this case, it was a project with Dow Chemical, Microsoft, and a university partner. It escaped my mind now. But Dow was really interested in looking at their outbound logistics and how they could improve that. So they were using AI to leverage and analyze what problems were, say, with traffic or weather, so that they could help their managers make decisions faster. So rather than taking 3, 4, 5 days to come up with a solution in their supply chain, this algorithm they developed gave them solutions within less than a minute. Okay, so that's not it though. So then the pandemic hit, and they're like, well, hey, what can we do? Literally, what could we do? So we said, well, we have this, we've done this. So we put together, hey, why don't we look at across the entire supply chain to look at leveraging AI so that it can address or identify problems, and let's see how we can help in that circumstance. So there we took 4 or 5 solution providers that each had their piece, brought it together. We created this middleware platform, a software package that can now help, and we piloted it with Dow, we've piloted it with Oshkosh, Lockheed, DLA, the Defense Logistics Agency, and a small business, just to cover all our bases. And actually, it's wrapping up the project now. It's ending up this month, and we have a webinar next in June that you can attend. It's go on our website. The webinar will be listed.
Well, there you go, man.
But and they said, like, had you not brought us together to help solve this problem, those 5 companies would have never come together. Not that they didn't want to; they knew about each other. But this really provided the opportunity, and the government funded that. But you'll never hear about those things, right?
No, but But I see that there's a tremendous velocity that exists within this world, this digital transformation world, this nonstop. Because I just think that I think the future is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's exciting.
Yes.
And I love the fact that your organization is sort of tip of the sword right there. Just
We are, yes.
and your ability to be able to bring parties together in a safe collaborative environment,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And that's a whole nother conversation because some people don't feel comfortable working with my competitor, but these are conversations and solutions that are necessary.
We have to have them. Yeah, and so what's great, as a member, they all sign the same agreement, and so there are obviously NDA in places. So you do have a John Deere and a Caterpillar talking together. You do have Boeing and Lockheed talk, because they understand, to your point, like, we won't do this alone. These are common to all of us. Now, once the solution's done, how you particularly apply it, that's fine. But why waste time on solving this when we can all do it together? Right?
See, you get down to a point where the technology is the technology, and
Yes.
I think that because we are in a position where we can leverage these technologies, it always gets down to humans.
Yes, it does. We talk about that all the time
How do you solve disputes
with data.
with data?
With data, and we have great examples on the floor of how, at least in the manufacturing side of things,
Yeah.
right? You know, usually you're in the room saying, well, it's his fault. No, their fault. Or,
Right.
But when you have the data, that all goes out the window. And we have at least 3 or 4 examples on the factory floor where we demonstrate that. And then, manufacturers get it. And the light bulb kind of goes like, oh, wait, but I could do this. And yes, absolutely.
And as you continue to journey down this road and creating this collaborative ecosystem, and everybody's just kumbaya and solving problems and doing that, there has to be also an acceleration of understanding too. It probably just says, yeah, we got it. Oh my gosh, I understand it, and it just keeps on going and higher and faster and faster.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, and what's truly exciting about that, because I talked about the kind of digital technologies. We also focus on cyber, but for the operational technology side. So the equipment. How do you secure the equipment?
Oh.
And then the workforce of the future. And why I'm saying this to you, because you were talking about that kind of ramp up.
Yeah.
People automatically assume technology will remove jobs or are going to get, and that is furthest from the truth.
Oh, it
and
is.
So to your point, it's not only are you ramping up on the technologies, but the people's capabilities and their skill sets and what they can do leveraging that technology. That is where it becomes transformational, because now you don't necessarily always have to have a degree in this or that. You just need the right skill set. So in our hiring guides that we've posted on our website for free, it talks about what are those critical skill sets that you need for the future, right? Again, I'm a PhD in metallurgy and material science.
He is a doctor.
I am a doctor. I taught in academia, but you don't need to be in college to do that. You can have some technical skills, maybe some non-technical skills. We need everybody in manufacturing, right? We don't just need engineers. So this is something that I'm passionate about, and so our workforce
Clearly you are, man. It's cool stuff, man. I'm just geeking in a big way, and your mantra, your purpose, your focus has been, chirped about over and over again. I guarantee you another conversation to have is that whole upskilling and reskilling, that workforce management. Do we have it? Does the university have the nimble capability of being able to train the workforce of the future? That's a whole nother debate.
Absolutely. And there's a space for them. Absolutely. Because, when you're in a university setting, you're really free to express or to look into things, dive into things. But sometimes, especially in the manufacturing environment, you need to do things right now, today. You need people who are nimble and thinking and not necessarily always technical, because the technology now is getting you to that point where it can assist you and really help you. But you need to know how to integrate those things, right? You need to know how to communicate those things. And so when I taught, I would tell my students, hey, you're going to come up with a great idea, but the guys on the factory floor, or they may not know the technical piece. You got to give them what it means to them, how it impacts them. And that's, again, what we do at our place, is showing them how it impacts them. Then they get it, right?
Yeah. Oh, Butterfly. How come I'm not at... I need to go to your place over there.
You got to be there. You got an open invitation.
Yeah, there it is, man. You heard it here. He's the president. So how does somebody get a hold of you? Let's say a company saying, hey, I want to be a part of this. What's your... How do they do that?
Yeah, www.mxdusa.org. Come on by, and we'd love to have you.
So cool. Well done.
Thanks.
I loved it. All right, listeners, we're going to have all the contact information for Federico out on industrialtalk.com. And so fear not, we're going to have all the information. So get a hold of him. You will not be disappointed. Thank you very much for joining. We're going to have another great conversation shortly, so stay tuned.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.